We do.
Do you renounce the powers of evil and desire the freedom of new life in Christ?
We do.
Do you profess Jesus Christ as the center of your faith?
We do.
Do you promise, by the grace of God, to bring your child up to be his disciple and follow in his way, to resist oppression and evil, to show love and justice, and to witness to Christ's love?
We do, with the help of God.
Sponsors, godparents, you have agreed to come forward in faith to sponsor Barak as he approaches the waters of life. With God's help, do you promise to be loving guides in his growth in faith and to pray for him in times of joy and trouble?
We do.
Sisters and brothers, Jesus Christ welcomes everyone who desires new life into the faith and family of Christ. Do you, who witness and celebrate this ordinate sacrament, promise, well, actually it's a sacrament, promise Barak your love, support, and care?
We do.
Then please sign up for the Christian Education Committee. Will you help him grow in faith and witness with him? See? Didn't check. And witness with him, whatever it says, to the love and mercy of Christ.
We will.
And do you renew your own promises to live in the freedom of Christ and resist the power of evil?
We do. With the help of God.
Now, at this point in the ceremony, we would invite children who are already present to come and grab the pitchers and help me fill the water. All right? So another tip is that if you don't have people do that, don't fill them up to the top. Leave plenty of room for there to be water. Now, if you've got a book or a service book and you want to be doing water stuff, you're going to either need a very nice deacon or a longer table where you can always have some kind of paraphernalia table nearby so you can just lay things down. Because no matter how often I see this in churches, it continues to get my goat. You don't want to be doing this. Or, piling stuff up in the place where something really wonderful is about to happen that distracts from the visual impact of the sign value of what's going to happen. I mean, I have seen so much, stuff, well, never mind, so you get the point. So I would just turn to either my deacon, who's going to hold this for me, or the table if it were longer or wider, and I would invite up either the children, or if you don't, or children and adults, sometimes you want to make this intergenerational, the deacons of the church who are responsible for the spiritual life of the community or whatever body you have like that, come on up. And actually there's music at this time and we make a real procession out of it. You get all the pitchers of water that you can and we just start filling the font. So why don't a couple of you come up and we'll do that, all right? And this is where maybe the congregation can begin about water or whatever. And notice, you don't do this. You do this. And it doesn't matter, you want that water to be heard and seen. All right, so don't do as much as I did or as bad as I did. Thank you. Wade in the water, cover the water. Wade in the water. And so, if we had like 15 kids, one after another.
Children wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
And speaking of trouble, okay, so then what happens is, now your baptismal services are probably very different from this, but this is just to give you some ideas of this. So we sing this hymn, the children and adults have processed, they've filled up the font, and now is the time for the blessing of the water. Sometimes the pastor will say that, sometimes the lay representative will say that. Let's have the deacon say it now. And after the blessing, we roil the waters, okay? So go for it.
The blessing of the baptismal water.
Now what you want to do is come to the water. So whenever you're presiding, whether you're a lay deacon or whether you're a minister or whatever, whenever you're presiding, you want to preside, all right? You have a role, and you need to have a sense of who you are. So come to the object, come to the center, come. And when there's a title, usually it's there just for information. All right, so you probably wouldn't announce what you're doing, you do what you're doing. Try to avoid announcing what you're doing. do what you're doing. And people will know what you're doing. Okay, so let's bless this water.
On the first day of creation, the Spirit of God moved across the face of the waters, bringing forth light and life. On this day, stir these waters with your holy breath, O God, and let them be the sign of your love for Barak. Make him a new creation by your grace, and